Yeah, to bring that. Okay, let's call us to order. And we do have two people online, Peter and Tom, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 in the room, plus Cheryl and me, so we were at quorum at 3, so yes, BCA has weird quorum numbers, so. So first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our last meeting, the January 27th meeting, which was our organizational meeting, and I would entertain a motion to approve. Second. Okay, so Sarah and Tom. And any comments? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the minutes are passed. We've been joined by a couple more online, so. And we're getting one more coming through the door. Hey. So we're on to number 3, reviewing the process for the Ward 2 caucus, which is this coming Thursday at 7 p.m. Do you want to go over the procedures?
Considering I've never done it before, and I'm sure Carol knows more about it, I am familiar enough with the fact that everyone gathers in person. It is an in-person event. You nominate anybody in the room or anybody not in the room. From what I understand, you can nominate people that are not there. And then the vote takes place. We will allow each person who has been nominated some time to speak about their issues or what their plan will be, and then we'll go forward with the vote. The votes are counted right there by hand, and then afterwards, the winner is announced right then and there.
And you're going to bring an oath sheet with you?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they'll be sworn in right there too, as well.
Teddy?
Just since, candidates technically don't declare anything in the typical way they get nominated on the floor, how does the actual voting work? Are we just writing names?
You are writing the person's name down, yep.
The names will be written on the whiteboard in that room as they're nominated, and then once the nominations close and everybody's had a couple minutes to do their spiel if they want to, then as people are checked in when they come in, because like voting, they all have to be checked in, they will be given a slip of paper and a golf pencil, and they will then write down the name they want, drop it in a bucket, a hat, a box, something, a receptacle of some kind. And then the Board of Civil Authority members that are present and working the check-in table will count the ballots. And that'll be that. So, Amanda, and then Sonia.
I guess I would request that we have a predetermined amount of time for candidates to speak, and that it be sort of timed that evening. Do you have a sense of what that could or should be?
In the past, it's been like 2 or 3 minutes. We did also allow, outside of that 2 or 3 minutes, we did allow 2 or 3 minutes of questions and answers from the audience, but again, kept it with a time limit.
Is there a sense of whether there will be questions Thursday night or not?
Who knows? Who knows? Sonia?
Has this been advertised in any way, shape, or form? And I'm specifically thinking about the electronic sign at the bottom of the hill.
I've inquired about that in the past, and I was told that really wasn't used for that purpose.
It seems like this is a very unusual.
Well, I would think that that would be a great forum too, but also all those signs that are announcing winter bans too, I think.
If we can. I'm worried that a lot of people probably don't know what's happening unless they're sort of tuned in, and we don't get as many people who normally vote to participate.
It has been on Front Porch Forum, so, yeah.
And I've noticed a lot of you have been putting information out there on your social media platforms as well.
I'm just thinking about people who maybe not tuned in to electronically. Easiest fashion.
Yeah,
And is the top vote getter the winner regardless of how many candidates are nominated?
yes.
Yes.
And the Board of Civil Authority works the check-in table and then counts the ballots at the end. So we do need at least 2 BCA members to be present. I plan on being there just because I've done a bunch of them. So I will be there. And if we've got, I think, and Tom said that he'd be there. So if we've got the 4 of us, then that's plenty of people, so.
It makes counting easier at the end of the night too, the more people, if it's a good turnout.
So my question for Carol earlier, and I stumped her, was if someone isn't nominated, it's a caucus. I mean, there's not that many people there. If someone isn't nominated and they win, can they win? Didn't know.
And I don't think that they would be able to. I can certainly pose the question to the,
Unless people
Secretary of State.
simultaneously write a different name.
Yeah. Because sometimes you get protest votes and caucuses. It's kind of cool.
That is an interesting question.
So if somebody wasn't, my question was just, well, somebody isn't nominated, but they actually win.
it's kind of like, it would be like a write-in. And if somebody in a,
Yeah. So they, yeah.
you know, I think Patty, did you have a question? And then Amanda?
Well, I was just gonna ask how it's not dissimilar from Cheryl's election.
She was an announced write-in candidate. So it was announced. We're talking about if there was, some
a
kind of underground conspiracy thing to, write down Fred Flintstone, which obviously you can't because he's fictitious, but still, if there was this underground thing to write down somebody who wasn't there, but who qualified because they were a Ward 2 resident, and they had enough to be more than the other people that were actually nominated, would that actually be, so. I don't, I mean, in a regular election for a write-in, yes, they would be considered, of course, they would have the opportunity not to accept. But for a caucus, I'm not 100% sure, so we'll reach out to the league and find out. Secretary of State's office, Amanda.
Any weirdness or concerns about, I'm a Ward 2 voter, a BCA member, I intend being there in both capacities? Should I not count? Should I
Yeah, you can.
vote, or I'm assuming I
Yeah.
can, I just want to
Yeah,
hear
well,
it.
Everything's going to get double-checked by, everything's going to be counted by more than one person anyway, so,
I'm
yeah.
assuming it's
Yeah.
like a normal election where I
If-
just can't be a candidate.
Right,
but I can
exactly.
vote then. Okay.
Exactly, yeah. You
I
can't-
did have another question posed to me. Can people attend even though they're not ward members, just to watch?
Yeah.
They can.
So, are you pointing to Patty because Patty has another question?
No, we're just plotting.
No.
Okay, all right.
Causing trouble.
Cheryl asked, can anybody attend? And yes, anybody can attend, but people will be checked in. Only Ward 2 voters will get ballots, and only Ward 2 voters will speak and obviously make nominations, so. But anybody can attend, so. Y'all are driving me nuts. Sarah and then Amanda.
So how do you keep track of that for speakers and the questions for candidates?
Most of it's the honor system. First of all, if there's the typical board caucus turnout of, maybe 20 to 25, everybody in the room. If not, the other thing is that, it can be announced from the beginning, just a reminder that, only Ward 2 residents, registered voters can make nominations. Only Ward 2 registered voters can make comments or ask questions, so.
Wait, check them and give them their.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
their
So
ballots. It's just a piece
they've all
of
got
paper.
their little sheet of paper, yeah.
It's not like
Unless they're, and it should be a colored sheet of paper, so that somebody doesn't pull some little sheet of yellow paper out of their pocket and it finds out they're all pink.
Do you have your,
Amanda and then Tom.
The question of nominating, nominating speeches, or is it just any, or is it self-nomination, or does any Ward 2 voter stand up and say, I would like to nominate so-and-so, and if so, do they only say the name?
We're not going to take time with people standing up. People are going to stay in their seats. Nominations are, raise your hand, I nominate Joe Blow. Nominations aren't required to have a second, so just a name said. People can self-nominate. Doesn't happen very often, but people can self-nominate. If they are, it's like you can sign your own petition. You can vote for yourself. So you can nominate yourself. But it's just people naming from the floor. So, Tom, you had a question?
no, I just wondered if we had 3, right?
We've got 4. Sonia, Amanda, you, me.
All right.
So, yeah.
You got anything else?
I don't know. Are there any other questions?
In regards to
This.
the caucus.
I always used to think of them as like the last vestige of a standard town meeting in the city of Barre. And it's actually kind of nice. I had somebody say to me the other day, we're letting a small group of, Barre City residents make a decision. If we didn't have this in our charter, then the select board itself would fill the seat. So it's actually kind of nice that it's opened up to the voters of the ward to fill the seat. The other thing is that they fill the seat until the next election. So this will fill the seat until May. And at the May election, it would either be elected, and I can't remember, were you in the middle of a term, or was your term expiring
Yes,
in
no, I
May?
would have been up in May.
Okay, so in May, the seat would be up for 2 years. So if he were in the middle of his term, then in May, the seat would be up for 1 year, and then to get it back onto the rotation. So, okay. All right, so 7 o'clock is the caucus, and I would suggest that those of us that are going to be working get there by 6:30-ish, so. Cool.
Somebody don't count me, I'm gonna be on a panel in Aldershot until 6:45, and then book it up the hill.
Oh.
So.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
we'll be fine.
People to check in.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have
Counting at the
a
end.
larger group for any counting. Yeah, okay, good. Next thing on the agenda is the change of audit review. This is required before any election, and I know Cheryl sent around the list of voter checklist changes since the last election, which of course was the November general election. The statute just requires that this list is sent out. There's no action required by the board. It's just for the purposes of notification more than anything else. So, any questions on that? Did you?
I have a question
Yeah.
not specific to that. But when the mail-in ballots go out, do address returns come back to the city, and do they get updated on the checklist, or what happens with that information?
Yes. It depends on what, if they've been changed to out of state, then they get challenged. They go through the challenge process. If it's that they moved from point A to point B in Barre City, it gets changed, but they still have to fill out a change of address form. You can't just take it based on the label from the post office. So. Okay. What? I'm never sure. You're doing this, and so I'm. So I'm not sure if it's a raised hand or if it's, Okay, Amanda.
It's not about the audit, it's actually another question for the caucus.
Okay.
People are gonna be handwriting names, are we doing a best faith interpretation of spelling?
Yeah.
On the names?
Well,
they'll be written
they'll
on
be
the
written on the
board.
board, yeah.
So hopefully.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That part,
So.
thank you.
And hopefully we'll have them, so you'll need to make sure you've got some writers for the, Okay, the only other thing that, that I'm aware of on the agenda, Cheryl sent some information around today. She and Tom Baker, our facilities director, have been tilting at the windmill that is holding elections during the high school basketball tournaments. And they actually have come up with a great idea to relocate voting to the basement, to a part of the basement, for town meetings, so that they can set that up and not be interfering with the setup for the basketball tournaments. Those of you who have been lucky enough to join us at 10:30 at night on the Monday before town meeting know how much fun it is to set up, and then the facilities guys have to turn it around for the Wednesday to do the basketball games again. So did want to share this information with you and give Cheryl an opportunity to describe a little bit what they're talking about and see if there's any questions or concerns. Because it's in the same facility, we're fine with regards to notification to the Secretary of State's office about polling places, because you have to let them know with at least 30 days in advance. So you want to share with us what your plans are?
So my plan is cordoning off part of the basement closest to the elevators, and then establishing signage upstairs, because we'll still be having them enter through the front doors. Hopefully I can have somebody manning the lobby to steer them in the direction of the stairs or the elevator, depending on which one they choose to use. And then immediately exiting from the elevator or the stairs, because they're in close proximity downstairs in the basement, have that area, the check-in area, and have a small section for the booths. We always minimize the booths. I don't want to say always. I have minimized the booths for the school board elections, the multiple that we had last year. We had four or five booths for the entire election, and then we'll be using 2 tabulators, one for the Career Center and then one for the Barre Supervisory. And it is all tabulators, so there's no hand counting at the end of the night. But we're just going to try and streamline it. So coming off if somebody chooses to use the elevator, it's just a streamlined circle right back to the elevators or stairs.
There will still be write-in tallies, because there's
Yes.
candidates on them.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes,
so-
there is, you're right, there is the write-in possibilities as well. But that's the layout. I haven't actually visited the site, but Tom says it's doable, so I do plan on visiting the site prior to the election. I was thinking of actually tomorrow anyway. And making sure there's enough chairs in there for Thursday night as well, in the alumni end of it.
Any questions? If this works, and I actually met with Tom and Cheryl, I don't know, a few weeks ago, you guys came to me with the idea, and I thought it was brilliant. I had floated the idea a number of years ago, but was told that the basement was taken up with concessions and that we couldn't use it. And so the fact that they're thinking that they can use like half for concessions and half for the election, I think would make life so much easier for everybody, because then you'd be able to set up in advance. And because of the fact that, so hopefully
And
that's
Tina
gonna
Lund
work.
from Berrytown, she has no issues with it. Tina Gilbert, Joanne, as long as they are assured that the election will go seamless, they didn't seem to have a problem or an issue with it. I don't see it affecting attendance. It's just going to be, we'll need people upstairs just to be sure that people are aware of this. This is new. This is a change. So,
Any questions or anything?
Is that just gonna be for the March?
Yes.
Yes.
Upstairs for May?
yes, yes. And I can, you know, once we get closer and I do know the layout, exactly where I'm putting the booths, the check-ins, I can email you all the floor plan ahead of time.
Good, I think it's exciting. Yeah, yeah. Anything else to come before this body? I would say that the next meeting of the BCA will be likely to be the Thursday before the May meeting, but I do know that you're also working on perhaps scheduling Board of Abatement stuff.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for Board of Abatement stuff. Yes, Sarah? But not before March, no.
Will we meet before town meeting day?
Oh, yes, you're
Yes.
right, yeah. Yeah.
How are we gonna
Yeah.
figure out staff and?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
we will
you're
be
right.
meeting prior to that as
Sorry,
well.
I'm working for Plainfield because their clerk is currently out sick. And so this is my first time coordinating a floor election and a hand count town. And so my brain is trying to juggle too many different sets of laws, so.
So yes, we will meet prior to the school board and career center elections with a list of BCA members that will be working and a list of just the helpers that we have. We have a list of poll workers that are amazing, who always step up to the plate. And currently Leslie Waltz is putting that schedule together for her end of it, for the tabulators, the absentee ballot counts, the write-ins, you know. So she's putting that end together, and when we meet, we'll coordinate who here wants to work the BCA tables. 3 shifts, as usual.
Okay, any other questions? Any questions from those online? Okay,
Well, thank you.
Second.
all right. We are adjourned.
I
Thank you all.